what puppet are you gonna pick anyway?
Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny.
What? What? This can't be happening! What did you do to my body?
Sorry, kid, but you're my puppet now!
Everyone loves puppets. From Kermit to that shitty clown in FNAF, puppets are beloved by all. But sometimes little wooden boys don't cut it. Sometimes you gotta use real little boys. Wait, that came out wrong.
FBI, open up!
But when dolls and robots aren't good enough, you gotta throw strings on the next best thing. Man, there are a lot of ways we've seen people be controlled in fiction, although there is a difference between mind-controlled and puppeting a person. Mind control is control of, well, the mind, while puppeting is a direct control of the body, no matter what the mind wants. They functionally serve the same role, but it's less about the conclusion and more about the execution that makes them different. With this definition, the first example of puppeting that comes to mind is an episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Puppet Master. Here we see what happens when a waterbender takes their power to the absolute extreme and cultivates bloodbending. This episode is absolutely chilling with how our villain and eventually Katara puppet people so easily. The technique is so powerful that it ends up causing major problems in the sequel series, The Legend of Korra. The technique also gives us one of the funniest scenes between Aang and one of the villains in Legend of Korra.
You should kill yourself now and give somebody else a piece of that oxygen and ozone layer that's covered up so that we can breathe inside this blue trap bubble. Because what are you here for? To worship me?
Every once in a while though, pulling the strings on somebody's body won't cut it. Sometimes you need direct control, like possession. I already showed off the birth of everyone's favorite Gravity Falls character, Bipper, but my personal favorite example of this trope comes from a different Disney property, Kingdom Hearts. The main villain of the series, Xehanort, spends a lot of time trying to possess a lot of different people, but his best showing has to be from the prequel game Birth by Sleep, from his possession of everyone's favorite blockhead, Terra. And while Xehanort's possession is impressive, it's Terra's response that makes it cool. Instead of just fading away, Terra's will lingers on and possesses a suit of armor, becoming the Lingering Will, and he gets a sick-ass theme song to boot. But controlling the body manually takes time and effort, and sometimes the host may reject the ploy. What if you could just tell somebody's body what to do? That's where other forms of puppeting come in, be it through hypnosis or making someone an extension of yourself that lets any villain move past that pesky thing of free will without any of the hassle of spiritual or physical movement. My personal favorite version of this form of puppeting is roboticization, which is a bit closer to just direct brainwashing than puppeting, but it's still mostly just telling a body what to do, so I'm counting either way. Who's gonna stop me? You? And even then, I'm mostly just mentioning it for aesthetic purposes. You can do a surprising amount with the character design just by making it a robot, and while it is cool, it can still be terrifying when done in a realistic setting. It also brings up a lot of science-based questions, mainly the fact that turning organic matter into a pre-programmed robotic body makes zero sense. Doesn't make it not cool though. But even with all of these examples I mentioned, there is one more I want to show off. One character who's been puppeted in almost every way I mentioned, and some I didn't mention. I'm talking about the self-made king himself, King DDD. The alleged big bad of the Kirby series has been turned evil so many times it'd be easy to count how many times Kirby has fought him under his own free will. It's so bad when I wrote this video he got mentioned almost every time, so I had to give him his own segment instead of lumping him in with everybody else. And no matter who's controlling him, DDD still loses to Kirby every time. You think that any interdimensional demons would just start picking a different host. But now we've reached our conclusion, and now you have all the info you need to go out there and start subjugating the minds of the people. Wait. Alright. Got it. Yeah, I'll tell them. So I have just been informed that you cannot mind control the populace. It is illegal and considered psychological warfare. So, go pre-order your tickets to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Or don't, I'm not your dad.